When we come back in a second. Yeah. I just heard Sally out. Yeah. Meeting of order with the pledge of allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're in the executive session. We have two proclamations today. One is for the National Parks and Recreation Month. That's this one. And who's Alan receiving this one, right? So July Park and Recreation Month in Schuylkill County, the proclamation serves as a fitting kickoff to several major planning initiatives on the beginning of summer. Continue through the months ahead. Residents, municipalities, partner organizations, and stakeholders will have opportunities to help shape the future of parks, recreation, trails, conservation, and open spaces for us to county. Among the initiatives beginning of summer are the Schuylkill County Comprehensive Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Plan, the Sweet Arrow Lake and Straw Hollow Master Site Plan, and the Yent Site Connector Trail Pier Stone. You wanna? Okay. So our parks and open spaces are an excellent addition to our Schuylkill County, and keeping them nice, so you know, bigger fun for people, so we appreciate everything you do.
No, I always said that you always give something back to the resident. And as far as when this park was started, and now we just added one on, which is Frog Hollow, which if you haven't had an opportunity to go there, it's a great environmental center, which actually teaches a lot of students and so forth through schools, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, whatever that may be. So again, it's an educational piece, and I always called it the park Sweetheart Lake, our jewel of the county. It's a very pristine park, and a lot of these folks are the ones that help upkeep that and going. So again, thank you very much. And I know the planning phase is bringing hopefully other amenities down the line and the connectors and everything else will be great with trails and so forth. Thank you.
Well, then Chuck and I go a long way back. And we're both camp houses before each camp back in the late sixties. We go that we cat out with the picnic caddies.
Yes, I do.
We worked together on the conservation district club and dedicated a lot of his life to the park system in the county here. Not just as an employee, but volunteering his time and began duties. He's been one of the backbones of this whole operation. We appreciate all you've done. As Mr. has said, having have a tool of the park, making improvements, we're looking at possibly getting a dredge before it comes into wetlands. So, we're moving ahead. Things we're told are possible are getting done. So we appreciate all you folks doing. Congratulations.
And there's a lot of the walking orders and so forth. You know,
So I'm from Schuylkill, and we do, we're a part of the, so I partner a lot with the parks to make sure people are getting out for safe and equitable access.
you're the cycle shop.
Yeah, so, yeah, we're any out of track, we're, working on our networks that, hopefully we can see with the parks and things as well, so.
So
It's been, yeah. I can't say how much I really appreciate the county work done. It went from absolutely nothing to birds back to Matt Sherman. Going to celebrate 25 years of county. And Sweet Arrow.
Wow.
It's
so here's the conversation. And we'll do the next one. Oh, since we're out,
Yeah, Scooter Alley, Straight.
Thank you.
So Adrian, for Trail Alliance member, this proclamation acknowledges the work of the 9/11 National Memorial Trail Alliance to honor, preserve, and commemorate September 11th. While advancing trail development, heritage tourism, community connections, and outdoor recreational opportunities throughout the quarter. It also recognizes the growing efforts underway locally to strengthen trail connectivity through initiatives such as the Site Connector Trail. This will be in Susan's presentation, but this is the one to connect hospital all the way to hopefully Newport. And our trails, like having outdoor stuff like this helps attract people to your town because that's what they look for. People look for this.
No, they
I think it's different things.
Yeah.
No, I think this is a fantastic project. That's a super trail that's gonna connect them actually in Ashland, where the tragedy was hit on our soil and so forth. And hopefully it's a remembrance of people walk that. It's a connector that's gonna connect a lot of communities. One thing about trails, and we've heard it before, that it's definitely gonna bring, people in from the outside area, economic development is developed. So again, it's see people in the small town, one on one. So it's a great opportunity and a lot of challenge to try to get this for the anniversary. So thank you very much.
We kind of the first meeting and do a lot of stuff in the flat property. A lot of working, coordinating, operation. So the first proposal, I thought, wow, this is gonna be fun to do. Congratulations on it.
That's the way we have it in our site. Our cycles are 85 pounds a minute, so hopefully we'll see the confidence out. Now, this has been a of the concerns for probably some years was finding a way for for and so this emphasized here is a final piece basically along 209 and it's connected to the River Heritage Corridor and the Delaware Heritage Corridor. As you know, they break thousands of pounds each and every year up and down their trails over we're trying to attract to that our community. Have the next grant dollars to help us together with operations of how we build this trail, how the trail masters go, this model that we need to have access to that. We are bringing up trails. So, done. Of course, we're excited about my because is part of the governor's initiative for if and that's we start seeing trail markers across our across the 209 corridor as part of the national trails. So it's not necessarily part of our connector, but of that and we'll see. They started putting the signs up yesterday in Allentown as part of the job initiative. So when you start seeing the it is, a real trail and we are that there is so and give our blessings by and being probably also who lost there with the week before was a part of this trail.
Also to say, And a lot, especially Christine, I agree with a lot of work that she's been the leader. And actually, also, Parks Service County, going to be on her expensive tax there, and she took care of the fact that money for the studies, so maybe your boss for being there for us.
Yeah, it's really exciting to be opportunity around the records, even the region area for revitalization. So it's a huge opportunity for Hospital to have the trail connect your members. I think you can do a lot. So it's really exciting for it, the county and the board in general. So yes, it's great.
So what is
So Commissioners, the proclamations today, really serve as the first chapter in selling recreation efforts of the commission in the summer. As you know, Commissioner Fedora, those through the county comprehensive park recreation space plan. We are Lake Frog Hollow master site plan and site plan trail tour study. While each has their own purpose, they do share a common goal to help us better understand the places that matter to our community, identifying opportunities for future investment and improvement, strengthening connections to people and places, and providing a roadmap for future decision making. Over the past several months, planning staff have been laying the foundation for this work through a countywide inventory of parks and recreation assets, GIS mapping, and data collection. At its core, this inventory is about understanding what we already have before we decide what comes next. Before we can identify needs and priorities to make recommendations, we need a picture of the recreational open space assets that serve our community today. So you can see here this is what the staff is using right now. You can see we're collecting in the Union Township area. We're collecting yes, all of the side amenities, including benches, sports facilities, playground equipment. One of the most exciting long-term outcomes of this data collection is the opportunity to build a countywide recreation dashboard using county GIS. Imagine being able to see every park, trail, playground, pavilion, ball field, and recreation amenity across Schuylkill County in one place. Information that might otherwise take days to gather from reports, spreadsheets, and maps. More importantly, it gives us a way to see the bigger picture. It helps us understand where investments have been made, where gaps may exist, where opportunities are emerging, and how our recreation system is changing over time. This has the potential to become an invaluable resource for municipalities, community organizations, and residents. To support all of these planning efforts, we've also launched the Recreation Planning Hub, which can be found at SchuylkillCountyPA.gov/rec. The hub serves as a front porch for these projects. It will be a single place where residents, municipal officials, study committee members, and project partners can follow along from beginning to end. Visitors can learn about each project, review updates and plan materials, find upcoming meetings and events, discover opportunities to participate. There's a whole page, if you will, and then each of the has their own page where you can find things like some of our public engagement efforts. Uh, Information about how the staff funded, explore the lake, keep the study with members. Exercise Micro Trail, we have posted a building study that was just did that you all referenced. And we also included the voices that have supported the Site Connector Repair study. We'll actually take a look at all of the letters that have been provided. For over time, we'll also feature partner projects throughout the county. This picture of Good Spring Park in Bailey, that is Park clothing. It's over time. One of our priorities throughout this process is making public engagement, not simply asking for input, but demonstrating that people are being heard. We want residents to see how their ideas, experience, and concerns directly inform and create.
Through the Recreation Planning Club and future outreach efforts, we will not only collect ideas and stories, but also share back what we are hearing and how that input is shaped recommendations and priorities. In fact, we've already started to do that with the county summit, previous outreach efforts. And while every conversation is different for ideas and drives to the top, sharing for the places we already have, improving connection, community recreation assets, protecting the landscapes that define Schuylkill County, and creating opportunities to bring people together. That information then viewed through the Recreation Planning Club and a collection of all of the public input and efforts, and that will be added to it as the plans progress. Ultimately, these planning efforts are more about parks, trails, and open spaces. They are about understanding the basic activity to our quality of life, serving landscapes to tell our story, strengthening connections in our community, making sure to invest in local priorities and needs. On behalf of all three study committees, we look forward to working with colleagues, community organizations, stakeholders, and residents throughout the process. We will continue to be informed as the work progresses. We invite everyone to follow along, participate, and take future of our organization.
Thank you. So the only other thing I want to say, recreation stuff, we can help track your, like the bike and hike. It gets spring and summer, you see them down at Port Clinton starting to get up trails and hiking everywhere, so it's a good thing for our county's trails, connecting Schuylkill to Harbin, track more people here, that tourism was great for our area. Now we're along with the meeting, so, I know the biggest news is the stuff on DHF that broke over last weekend. As of right now, the only thing we have not had official confirmation of it. But like I said recently, last Wednesday, I don't believe the project's going. I just, I say it's still stands. And I do believe the county's approach to it was the right approach. By able to have open dialogue and conversations, not threatening them or a finger in their chat. I'm sorry, governor's office took a very hard stance with them, and they would not communicate with the governor's office. Governor's office called the county for information. And I think by us being able to inundate them with all the relevant information on the sewer, the water, the logistics of everything, because you did have some of the practical people say they can do whatever they want. But the engineers started saying, no, what do you mean when you say no law? What do you mean when you say there's no sewer? And by SCMA providing them with all the information, everything went on. I think that went a long way. And as soon as we get on precedent to try to get official confirmation, we have to consider using their existing facilities. That's what a statement that they made. Is that, and they said they could pass this on to another government agency, which if they pass on some of the logistics stuff, they will create jobs up there or resell it. Hopefully it gets resold and it creates jobs up in that area of the county. So, and tax revenue. We're still, just as of last week, I believe, sent them an email once again saying, hey, we want our tax revenue. I don't care if it's sitting there or not sitting there, we want our tax revenue. So if they sell it, gets back on the tax rolls, if it's given to another government agency, we're still gonna push for payment of lieu of taxes. So that's where it's at right now. When we get official confirmation, I know our county solicitor reached out to them about the taxes and also put in there about, we need some confirmation on something, right? So that's what we're working on. And also be mad when I say this, but I was the user was the only elected official in Washington that facilitated direct conversation with the DHS. Senator McCormick's office did, or Senator Fetterman's office. Now they sent letters to Christina that, but the only person that facilitated direct communication was Congressman User, and we appreciate him doing it because we want to have that access to the DHS. So that's where we're at right now. Let's go out to public comment. Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Point.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Molesky, Norwegian Township. Please refrain from any interruptions until after my 3 minutes, please. Today, I would like to offer suggestions regarding meeting procedures, transparency, and public participation. I would encourage the commissioners to review the current meeting process and consider whether additional opportunities for discussion would benefit both the board and the public. At many public meetings, when a motion is made and seconded, there is a period for discussion before the final vote is taken. The motion is made, a second is received, questions are asked, concerns are addressed, and then the vote is called. Here in Schuylkill County, motions often appear to move very quickly from a motion to a second directly to a roll call vote. While discussion may occur beforehand, there is not always the clear defined opportunity immediately for the vote for commissioners, department heads, solicitors, or the public to hear additional explanations regarding the items to be considered. A recent example is found on last week's work session agenda. 2 items requesting immediate approval, a supplemental budget appropriations resolution for $1.5 million on behalf of Schuylkill County Economic Development, and another supplemental budget appropriations resolution for $156,000 on behalf of the Human Services Block Grant. As a member of the public reviewing the agenda, there was little information to understand exactly what those appropriations were for, why immediate approval was being requested, what funding source was involved, and what impact the resolutions would have on county finances. In fact, I had to inquire later during the meeting to better understand the purpose of the $1.5 million. The public should not have to investigate after the meeting to understand what is being voted on during a meeting. I would encourage the commissioners to consider establishing a standard policy, asking, is there any discussion after a motion and a second has been made and before roll call vote? A brief explanation from staff or the department requesting the action to go a long way towards improving transparency and public understanding. I would also encourage the commissioners to consider formally adopting the agenda at the beginning of each meeting. A motion, second, discussion, and a vote on the agenda if itself would provide an opportunity to address any additions, corrections, or questions before county business proceeds. My concern today is not with any specific appropriation or agenda item. Rather, it is with the process. Government functions best when the public can clearly understand what's being proposed, why it is being proposed, and what the expected outcome will be before the vote is cast. Transparency should not require residents to ask questions after the vote. The information should be presented before the vote whenever possible. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Good morning. Good morning. Joe Wiscombe, Tremont. Larry, it was interesting that you just said some very brash people made the comment that you said they made. 6 months ago when we came into this room, that was you making that comment.
No.
Yes, we're going to go back and we're going to pull the tape. Because we drove home and we were very upset that that was the level at that point of what our county officials were saying.
Joe, that's not true.
That's please do not interrupt me because I don't want to be told only 3 minutes. When Dan Hughes not giving us a second, we're going to be held to 3 minutes here.
Listen,
I want my time.
give your time, but that is not true. Our stance always been, when you came here, we did not have confirmation. We had no confirmation.
We had questions and we were told by you that the government, in the end, the government's going to do what the government's going to do. And I'm glad that you underestimated us and you overestimated.
It was you that stopped us.
I said us, I didn't say I.
Go ahead.
I said the residents of Tremont, and residents, I'm being interrupted, this is why I'm gonna go over.
I stopped your time, so I stopped your time until you start.
So,
And I will go over 3 minutes, because we've not been given 1 second by Dan Muser.
Stan,
This is never the way the show is going.
The signs.
Dan, Commissioner's not here. This is the county commissioners meeting. It is not the congressman's meeting. So if you have an issue with Congressman Muser, please address it to Congressman Muser.
We have, and he doesn't get back to us. He
So
doesn't answer.
then addressing Congressman Muser's concern to us. And
It's why this got stopped, Larry. Us getting the message out here is why this would stop. This punch list that you're playing,
that's why it stopped.
you're
It's
just
100% because of you that it stopped. Go ahead.
I didn't say I. I have never used the word I.
Continue with your comments.
I have said we.
Brought it in every single time.
Because Congressman Muser did facilitate the conversation. That's a fact. We asked the auditor, the auditor's office, no, there's no, the member of the room, who were on that meeting, that, no, our stance have always been consistently the same. And yes, if the federal government would have decided to move forward with this, I 100% believe they could, and they could steamroll the governor and us and what.
Well, they didn't.
That's my.
They didn't because we used this time. We used 3 minutes. We, not I, Larry, we, and I said we
Okay,
from the beginning.
but we provided the information to how many direct conversations did you have with DHS?
None, because we weren't given them. We weren't given the
Because they weren't
opportunity,
given anyone the opportunity.
which is wrong.
Well, that's
The
not.
Delta's
that's out
on
of
us.
our-
The Delta's on us without any. I'm still waiting for my 3 minutes.
If your 3 minutes is starting, you had 30 seconds, you 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Here's what I haven't done. I haven't timed Larry while he was talking either.
I stopped.
I'm the chairman of the board. Have the ability to talk well. I'm sorry.
I'm a United States citizen. I have the ability to
I'm trying to answer you making statements that aren't true. It's on.
What's not true?
What's not? My statements throughout this entire thing. They have not wavered. My statements have been consistent all the way through this.
Somebody else was saying, go ahead.
Okay. Thankfully, you underestimated the residents of the West End. Tremont Township residents, Fraley Township residents. You greatly overestimated your federal government and their ability to do due diligence, any competency or morality in this issue, which you said you defended and you still were saying you defended. This is part of the Trump immigration plan. What you just witnessed here, what you just saw, these trillions of dollars wasted are part of this plan. And I'm laughing when I say the word plan. It was impromptu, which was your word of the week last week at the commissioners meeting. You had Amazon coming. I'm not going to get into data centers, but without putting them on the agenda, it was impromptu. That's not the way we do governance.
Yeah.
What you just saw with the parks and recreation, community involvement, engagement, that's real governance. That's helpful. Bringing people in for an infomercial secretly is not how you do it. And saying the data centers are good if they're in the right place, they're never in the right place. Dolphin Highlands are in golf courses or open areas. That's another debate for another day. Now on to No Plan Dan. And I thank you. I thank this board for these 3 minutes, because these 3 minutes are what made the difference. Because we were never given 1 second with Dan User. We're still waiting for that. And Dan User, for all the things he's never answered, there has to be an investigation for trillions of our tax dollars to be wasted on this nonsense. If there's fraud, waste, and abuse in Minneapolis, Minnesota, that needs to be investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent. If it happened in Tremont, Pennsylvania, by our federal government, there needs to be a full and complete investigation, and people need to go to jail. These are our tax dollars. Larry, you were helpful in that. Basically, it was like 1800s, a carrier pigeon. You took our information and notes, presented it to Dan User, but it was a one-way carrier pigeon. We never got information back, other than we're working with them. The reason this fell apart was because that punch list, and impromptu. The other time the word impromptu was used last week, when Gary wasn't invited to the Tremont Detention Center. You said it was an impromptu meeting. Dan User didn't come up to your door and say, driving through Chautauqua, I want my time. And say, hey, Larry, well, again.
Sorry. The next comment, please.
Come on, Larry. And I'll keep coming back to these meetings. If it takes 6 months to do 3 minutes at a time, we can do it that way too.
Larry Tremont. I'm not feeling well. I have a very sore throat. I'm deferring to my husband to speak for my 3 minutes because I have a sore throat. Go ahead.
And all these comments, I've been a little distracted. It would take much less time if it wasn't the back and forth.
I have 3 minutes. I have a sore throat. I defer to my husband. Go ahead.
Now, no due diligence done, no questions asked.
So, I need to speak.
Joyce Wetzel, it's changed, 25 years.
Paul.
Oh, there's who's going to bump into me.
Well,
I'll be back next week.
I'll there the last time, and we'll go and then finish.
Huh?
For my sake. For the salary board.
You want to read this?
Come down to the salary board, you can speak for her, you can finish.
Joyce Wetzel, we spend every Thursday night with at the gun club. She has not heard from anybody other than once at the beginning. She hasn't slept for 6 months. She didn't know if her retirement, having a stay care, her livelihood was going to be taken away. The government didn't respect her enough to have any conversations with her.
No, that's, once again.
Oh,
we
no.
Stopped it.
I
We
don't care.
talked to her, like, we talked to her
once a
Thursday
week.
night. She's heard
She has
nothing back
heard
from anyone.
nothing.
I had to come, okay.
Her comment about last Wednesday was relief. We asked her, how have you been doing? I have not slept for 6 months. That's what this has done to her. And nobody has cared enough to talk to her. How were these decisions made? Big lots. They paid double the assessed value. Who's investigating that? That's bullshit. Double. It's insane. And no one's looking into it. Where will the federal government come up with all the lost money? Like for us. You're saying you're fighting for it. They don't pay their bills.
It should
They've
be
got a
paid, but it's
history.
now going to be paid by the federal government, not private.
Federal debt interest payments on our national debt now ranks third in terms of government federal expenditures, ranked only behind Social Security and Medicare. We now pay more in interest payments than we have budgeted for our military. Over $1 trillion a year, which is $7,300 per household. That's just the interest. Who's accountable? No one's keeping track of this. In September, of the $40 trillion in United States debt, Donald Trump's 5 years will be responsible for $12 trillion of that debt. 30% of our national debt. He is the reason.
He's been president for 5 out of our 250 years. That's 2% of our presidency. He's going to be responsible for over 30% of our national debt. This is the hottest country in the world. We're going bankrupt because of this bullshit.
His impromptu decision-making, his lack of planning and due diligence are bankrupting America, just like it did with his casinos. Lack of revenue. Huge tax cuts for the very wealthy, helping the billions become trillionaires. They're the only party to blame for
Only
this.
part of the It's spending. It's just reckless.
No plan, Dan. Before giving away the Big Lots warehouse, we can put it to some use. We can use it for town hall debates to speak to the user who never provided or attended. I don't know what the guy looks like. I'll be honest. I don't know what he looks like. I wouldn't know what you guys look like unless I came.
Well, you should have went to Lehigh County, which isn't his district yesterday, where it was honking a Mac one.
Why were 2 warehouses with zero infrastructure purchased in Dan Muser's district to house over 12,000 people combined? Why did the ICE purchase the vacant warehouse at 2 to 3 times their assessed value? A lot of important questions. And who knew what? When did they know it? Why was the public excluded from any type of involvement or engagement throughout the secretive and corrupt process? Lots of questions.
I believe the Inspector General is investigating.
Oh,
Yeah, and he'll get back to us in 2
He'll
weeks.
get back to us.
Well, we're going to do that. We're not going to. This
Like in the Orville House, and like I said, if you have an issue with the user,
and we have.
we're the county. We're not the.
I get that. It should have been done. You can put it in, Larry. I get that. It never should have been done this way.
We did the best we could with the abilities we have, because we have no authority.
I get that, but we have to go through you to get to him.
And that's what we did. But you rather,
I would rather speak with Dan Muser. I would rather speak with the people directly asking questions that have never been answered. And you can't answer them, I understand that. But we should not have to come here and be told 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, when we should have had, he should have gone to the town hall like you did.
That's on the council user. I'm not.
Well, this,
We're the county commission.
I'm sorry that you have to do this, but this is the only way we can get to him. Please pass that on to him next time we see it.
I
Thank you.
they will. Next public comment.
Good morning, Brianna Delval, Wardsburg, not the convention center. I just want to thank Commissioner Hess for showing up and sending us off 2 Fridays ago on Schuylkill Sojourn. It's like topical because we're talking about recreation stuff, and I know there's a feeling of saying no to everything, but recreation is something that we should be saying yes to. Schuylkill River Trail and Schuylkill River Greenways Association is also a really great organization. And I hope to see one of you do this sojourn.
I don't.
It's beginner friendly, and also our stretch of the river
from Haven to Portland is everybody's favorite because really it's covered, it's beautiful, it's neat.
That's part of the lot. You go from here, so how many
Yeah,
people
it's-
participated?
So there's about 120 people on the river each day, and there were about 40 of us that did the whole thing. So I did the whole thing. This is my third year. It's really awesome, but there's not a lot of representation from Schuylkill County. So I want more people to know about it because it gets us connected with the rivers and the watershed and caring about our environment. So I want to see at least one of you. Anyone can do it. Somebody just finished it. Somebody that's only 85 years old.
I've attended every single time they launched from Haven. I have yet to get into a boat. I would love to, I've always said that I would love to see the river from that side. People say it's spectacular, especially the trip. I mean, the way now my knees are, I don't know, that have to launch me in there.
There's arms, you know.
But it is, it's a great opportunity. There's people from all over in different states that come to that. And again, it's the kicking point at almost the headwaters in Schuylkill Haven. And they go down for a 5-day trip, but it's really good. If you have it, you can take part of all of it or just even a leg. And it's a really good, spectacular thing. So thank you for taking part in it. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, and the trail, they'll be building it all the way up to Crackville. So, and that's something that I don't think people understand. So I'll be talking.
No, the trails are, they're.
Get me a boat that I can go in on.
Yeah.
I'll have to get a big raft or something. Yeah,
With a motor.
yeah, I'll go. I'll go. I gotta get me in and out of it though.
That's.
Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto, real quick, Dan User, of course, he doesn't answer anyone like these people have stated. These people he represents. There's a Trump photo op or Mar-a-Lago or Fox News. He doesn't even have a second to think about it, but people out in West End haven't heard from him since he started. Moving on, the 9/11 trail going to Palo Alto, great thing. Thanks everybody for their efforts on that. We are doing a big unveiling of the Perugio Monument rededication on September 11th at 5 p.m. So you're right on public. Your invitations will be in the mail shortly. It's going to be a huge event over there, revamping the monument that does stand there for Mr. Perugio. Also, this weekend is the 250th parade. City of Pottsville starts at 18th and Market. There's about 50 floats and 100 entries. There's a 250th birthday party at Alvernia for all ages afterwards from 12 to 5. Yeah, Friday night's a kickoff party on the Capitol deck. Hopefully, the commissioners promised me they'll do a rain dance after the meeting today. It's an all-American barbecue style dinner on the deck, and the fireworks is the best view of the fireworks in the city. There's still tickets available. You can get them online. Downtownpottsville.com. Now that my advertising's done, 7 elected officials at $100,000 salary and benefits not here at 9:30. Ms. Stevens, right to know, still going through. Ms. Catton still doesn't show up to talk about her FMLA claims. Has there been any update to the access to the civil dockets and title searches? They seem to be the ongoing things. Moving on to what happened last week regarding freedom of speech. I think the county needs to have Ms. Hofstetter and Mr. Dottie look into your policy and case laws. The threat of removal or arrest for expressing your freedom of speech, suppressing your First Amendment rights. Although we do appreciate interaction and dialogue, by the new chair compared to the previous one, allow people to talk and express their thoughts. Retaliatory action against people who speak is also illegal, such as removing from promised jobs and removal from meetings. Employees also fear to speak at these meetings due to retaliation. Boots, I recall not too long ago, you pulled some time cards from people that were speaking out against how you handle things, falsely accused those employees who spoke out. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the controller can confirm those time cards being pulled. And we all know how the county is with retaliatory action, how much it's cost taxpayers over the past couple of years. Real quick, just some case laws so the attorneys don't have to waste a lot of time looking them up. Cohen versus California. U.S. Supreme Court overturned a conviction holding that government generally cannot prohibit speech
merely because it contains offensive language. That would also include sign language with a finger if I wanted to do that again. This case is often cited correctly for the proposition that profanity alone is protected speech. City of Houston versus Hill, the court struck down a city ordinance that criminalized interrupting police officers or governors. Distinction between criticism and actual disruption is often central in cases. In later cases, Terminelio versus Chicago, the court overturned a disorderly conduct conviction arising from controversial speech. It emphasized that speech may provoke, disrupt unrest or anger and still be protected. Cases are often cited for the principle that government cannot silence speech merely because listeners are offended. Eisen versus Madison Local School District, the Sixth Circuit struck down portions of a school board policy that prohibited abusive, personal directed, or antagonistic comments during public participation. This is one of the strongest modern cases supporting broad public comment rights. One more. Acosta versus the City of Costa Mesa, the court addressed the removal of a speaker from city council meeting and found constitutional concerns when officials suppress speech based on viewpoint. And just the last one real quickly is the BL versus Monterey area, which is very familiar to everybody here. That also spoke about First Amendment rights. So there are 6 case laws that I highly encourage the county to look into and not become a dictatorship. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Just a shout out to the Ringtown Library last week. I attended on behalf of Fisher's 50th anniversary. At a time when libraries struggle and closing, it's nice to see a great celebration. What they do is, and one of their main fundraisers is they have a yard sale. You buy a permit from the library and the yard sale. My wife would say, you know, today is the 3rd Saturday in July. For God's sakes, we have something in Ringtown on Friday night. Don't be out there selling. The whole street, the whole town of Ringtown is full of people, yard sale, cars coming and going. Our church actually opens up and sells hot dogs, chips, and sodas. Makes a pile of money just doing that. So it was great to be there on behalf of commissioners and give our thanks. And like I said, it's their 50th, we're hoping for 50 more good years for Ringtown. So
Libraries are really good. Sir. Any other public comment for the law here? Okay, I'll move on here. That motion approve the minutes for the commissioners meeting of the 10th.
Chairman.
Second,
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yeah.
and Commissioner Hess.
Motion approved the minutes of the work session meeting on the 17th.
So moved.
second,
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
yes,
The motion to approve was presented by Children and Youth.
So moved, sir.
second,
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
yes,
The motion to approve was presented by Trump and Huckrow in the work session.
So moved, Chairman.
second,
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
The motion to approve was presented by the mayor.
So moved, Chairman.
second,
Question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
yes,
The motion approval was presented by Student Services.
So moved, Chairman.
second,
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
yes,
The motion approval was presented by the Office of Senior Services.
So moved, Chairman.
second,
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
yes,
The motion approval was presented by Real Estate Engineer.
So moved, Chairman.
second,
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
yes,
My approval was presented by the tax collector.
So moved, sir.
second,
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
yes,
The report. So approved the
So moved, sir.
second,
on the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner.
yes,
Financial.
Good morning, Commissioners. We've highlighted for informational purposes only a budget adjustment with the inlet to $75,000. And then we have for immediate approval and following 3 supplemental appropriation resolutions. 2026-14 in the amount of $3,000. 2026-15 in the amount of $487,528,000. And then on behalf of engineering, 2026-16 in the amount of $57,360.
I have a motion for 2026-14, 2026-15, 2026-16.
So moved, sir.
second,
The question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
yes,
The motion was presented by the county administrator.
So moved, Chairman.
second,
The question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Human Services made the appointment of Mary Couture as the clerk session two, effective 6/29/26, rated as 13/29/2018. In children, you have termination for annual Zackus County case order one, effective 6/15/26, the rate was 22,216. And MHTS appointment of Christine Fulton as administrative assistant, effective 6/24/26, the rate is 26.7965. One informational item for administration transfer of Dean Davis as the judicial secretary coming from District Justice Assistant One, that's effective 6/7/26. All appointments pending drug test and physical are appropriate. All actions involving salary or position being created are pending salary board approval. And a motion for the human service appointment for the children need termination and appointment to MHTS.
So, Chairman.
Second.
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
New business. On behalf of the Recorder of Deeds, approve the payment for a fortnight stay at the Pennsylvania Recorder of Deeds Associated Conference at Navy Line Inn State College. This amount was deducted under the account 01-15-427-00, and asking for immediate approval for that.
I'll make a motion that, as requested, the order needs.
Second.
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Please. Yeah, you can do this.
On behalf of real estate engineering, approval of change order number 2 for the first addition for a reduction of $4,646.82 with DNI Construction Unlimited. The contract amount was then adjusted to $687,050.10, and then change order number 3, also for the president for $11,640.84, again with DM Unlimited. And then the contract amount is $698,055.94. I would like to say that I believe that now our contract. So. Yes.
That's gonna be approved, two change orders for zero.
And that's easy for mental health.
Yes.
For the prison.
Yes.
It is really nice. It was needed to be able to do mental health treatment for the prisoners that we're required to do. So, second. One question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Before we adjourn with the regular meeting, I do want to bring up like the America 250 celebration. Urge everybody across the county to get out to the parade on Saturday. I know a lot of people in the committee work really hard. And I gotta give, Jeff and attest to this, a lot of our businesses and people donated a lot of money for this parade to go. Like, we reached out to a lot of our business owners and they just said, okay, we'll write a check. And they supported it. I know they got a lot of participation from the veteran organizations and a lot of fire companies throughout the county are participating. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's,
$40,000
yeah, it's over 40,000. Raised a lot of money for it, just through donations, private companies, private individuals. So it's a really nice thing for the county and kick off on Friday. Fingers crossed, it doesn't rain all the fireworks display is going to be a really nice fireworks display. So encouraging everybody in the county to come out and support the American 250. That motion adjourned. Salary board, for the executive sessions. Public comment for salary board.
All right, good morning, commissioners. Just want to do this briefly. Couple things that I just wanted to address. The courthouse does not, or maybe I'm missing, the accessibility to guests or Wi-Fi, guest Wi-Fi, or to the public while doing county business. There's no access in this room. So that's something that maybe I would suggest looking into further for the public, especially the constituents, to be able to conduct county business in the future. The second thing is, I might want to suggest that we, maybe there's a reason in the past, but we transform or we move the room around and take this gentleman here from IT and stick him down there at their end. That you also have the public speaker accessible And it's just not pointed to the three of you guys.
Working.
If that is done, and we do have the call-in Zoom application currently, I don't see why we can't start utilizing Zoom, but restrict at this point for people to actually be involved, etc. But it could be a broadcast from that angle. You'll be able to see the monitor, you'll be able to see the screen, you'll be able to see the speaker at that time if everything went down at that end. So again, those are just a couple things that I would suggest maybe for future endeavors or things that you're looking into. And I know that you are looking into some of the communications and the technological side, but again, I'm not sure what setup, if this was primarily done for a specific reason, but maybe it is an opportunity to take, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but take IT, stick them down there at that end so that we have the camera, or just relocate the camera so that it's facing this. Thank you for your time.
Any other public comment, sorry, board? So, leave, then we'll go through the salary board meeting minutes of June 10th, so who chairman? Okay, any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess, Controller Yekenship. Yes.
Motion to approve the salary board work session minutes of June 17th. So move chairman, second. Question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess, Controller Yekenship. Yes.
Human Resource Officer.
In Human Services, set salary for Mary Pastora as a clerk tech was due effective 6/29/26, rate is 13.998. In Court Administration, set salary for Jean Davis as judicial secretary effective 7/6/26, the rate is 29.8387. And in MHCS, set salary for Christine Fulton as administrative assistant 1, effective 6/24/26, the rate is 26.7965. That is all.
To do the human services and that, NLHCS is one motion. So I have a motion for human services and, yes,
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship. Yes.
And motion and second salary for the court administration.
So moved. Second.
Other question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess. Controller Yekenship. Yes. And Judge Russell.
Any business? The motion, sir.